Hey everybody, it's Dalton. I'm out here in my shop. I'm kind of a shop rat. I spend a lot of time in my garage doing stuff. Most of it's going to be related to fishing, but I have a few other projects going. Today I want to talk to you about how I save money on fishing line, but before I do that, I want to show you at least some of the projects I have going. I like to burn wood. I got a bass here, and I'm going to make some cup holders or coffee mug holders. I like to burn stuff like this, gone fishing. In fact, this one's kind of cool. It bled a little bit, but the wood is not the great. I'm gonna get the best. I'm gonna get some better wood, but these are some of the things I like to do. My wife wants to sell these. The other thing I'm doing is, I make a lot of baits, but I'm gonna start getting into hand pour bait making. I've been using an injector since I started last November. Now I'm gonna get into hand pouring, and yesterday I took half of a mold and I did a hand pour on it. So this is only half of a swim bait, but if you notice, I got my lines straight between the two colors. That was the first time I've ever done it. So I was really happy to get those lines straight, because now I'm gonna be able to do 2 and 3 tone colors predominantly on a swim bait. I'm gonna start making a 5-inch swim bait that's gonna be hand poured. So let's talk about saving money. Right now, that's what everybody needs to do. We're paying outrageous gas prices. If you're in California, you're paying more than any other state, I believe. I'm in California, and yeah, we spend a lot of money on gas, and what that does is it drives up everything else. We've got inflation, maybe already in a recession. Our food's going up, everything's going up because it takes gas to ship all that. It's sad. We have our own resources, and now we're not tapping into that. It's unnecessary. We could be saving a lot of money on gas by tapping into our own resources, but that's just my opinion. Let's talk about saving money on fishing line. Now, I use 2 fishing lines predominantly. It's going to be braid, it's going to be fluorocarbon, and occasionally I will use monofilament. Most time I use monofilament now will be on some type of a top water application. So, one of the ways you can save money, and most of you probably are already doing this, but if you're not, if you spool your spinning rods up with braided line, it will save you a ton of money on fluorocarbon line, because fluorocarbon is expensive. So by just adding on fluorocarbon leaders, you use much less fluorocarbon. Not only that, but you don't have to deal with all the line memory that fluorocarbon has, getting all tangled up in your reel, because with braided line, it doesn't get all tangled up, and it's also more sensitive, so I think you can feel the bites a little bit better. So that's one way. The other way is to not buy little spools of line. What I'm saying is try to buy in bulk. For example, my favorite fluorocarbon line is Seagar and Visick. So this is a 1,000 yard roll right here. My favorite braided line is Suffix 832. This is 600 yards. Here's some 600 yards of Seagar and Visick. These are 12 and 15 pound test. Now 12 and 15 pound test is what I use most of the time on my bait casters. So I use some braid in the back, and what I do with a bait caster actually is I fill it up about halfway with braid or even monofilaments, stuff that I have laying around. And then I tie it together with fluorocarbon. I fill the rest up with fluorocarbon because it saves money. Again, that fluorocarbon is more expensive. Another fluorocarbon that I use on really light line, this one's 4 pound test, is Berkeley Vanish Easy Casting. This is a pretty good fluorocarbon right here, and a very reasonable price. Now here's the way I break it down. On my bait casters, I know that I'm going to be spooling up a lot more fluorocarbon than I am with my spinning rods that I'm only going to tie a leader on. So what I do is I buy the bigger bulks. So I'll get like 600 yards, I'll get 1,000 yards. Let me give you an example. I can't remember which is which. This is 12 and 15 pound test. So Tackle Warehouse had a 4th of July sale. I looked on there, and I think it was the 12 pound test. They had a really good price, but then I jumped over to Amazon to compare, and I got the 15 pound test cheaper at Amazon, but I got the 12 pound test cheaper at tackle warehouse than Amazon. So what I do is I'm not beholden to anybody. Whoever's got the best price, that's the one I'm going to pick it up from. So I get these bulk spools, and the reason for that is these go on my bait casters, use a lot more fluorocarbon. Now for my leader line, I don't necessarily always buy a bulk spool. This is 6-pound test, Seagar and Vizix. It's 200 yards. That 200 yards on little leaders is going to last me a long time. Same thing with this this Berkley Vanish. When I get my braid, I get anywhere from 600 to 1,000 yards, or even 1,200 yards if I get a good sell. So the point is, for me, as much as I fish, which is a lot, I need to try to save money on some things, cut some costs on some things, and one of the ways to do it is to buy in bulk. I hope this tip helps. I'm getting ready to go out to Santa Margarita tomorrow and do some fishing. I haven't been out there in a few weeks. I want to go see what's going on, and then I'm going to head back out to Nacimiento, but I'm going to be fishing. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate all of you. Talk to you next time.